But is it a bigger loss with Bosa or Saquon?
Saquon. And it's easier to justify a high draft pick on a defensive end than it is a running back, right? And Bosa's a stud. Bosa's from another planet. That guy is great. And so it's a huge loss. But here's the difference. The regime in San Francisco, GM and coach, that were brought in not all that long ago, several years ago, already proved they know what they're doing. They know what they're looking at. What did I just say? It's draft and development. They know how to draft, they know how to develop, they know how to coach them up. That's why they had a 10-point lead in the Super Bowl last year. Well, they lost to Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, yeah. Okay, 10-point lead late in the Super Bowl. They know what they're doing. What about the Giants? This is year 3 for Gettleman. How many more years does it take? It's not that, the Giants are terrible every year now, Molly. We're Giants fans. And in New York, in any town where you have 2 franchises, usually you have the heritage franchise and the clown franchise. The Jets have always been the clown franchise in New York. The Giants are the heritage franchise. But you got to squint to see the difference right now.
We got 2 clowns now.
We got 2 clowns. Yeah. We got Ringling Brothers, Barnum and Bailey Circus in New York. So many clown franchises when you add in the Knicks. Look, the Giants built their offense around Saquon Barkley. And respect to Nick Bosa. He is a franchise-level defensive player, but he's not their franchise player. Saquon Barkley is actually the Giants' franchise player. He's the franchise. He's the face of the franchise. Whatever Danny Dimes is right now, Saquon is the face of the franchise. He's the most important offensive player, and he's the system through which they're going to evaluate Daniel Jones. Now you know what this does, Stephen A.? This gives Gettleman an excuse. If it doesn't work out this year, if Danny Dimes up, well, we don't have Saquon Barkley. So you know what that does? That keeps Gettleman in place another couple of years. How many years you need to turn this thing around? 4, 5 years of futility? I don't care if they get a better draft pick. They're not going to know how to develop the draft pick. Saquon's best year was his rookie year.
Right.
Before the Giants got their hands on him, really.
Right.
It's a disaster.
Well, you're wrong. And the reason why you're wrong, Max Kellerman, is number one, because you're emotional. And I understand that. You and Molly are very hurt right now. My condolences to both of you. I told y'all I was going to lose Monday night to the Pittsburgh Steelers. You did. You don't want to listen. But that's okay. That's okay. It's perfectly understandable. And I understand that your emotions are invested. And I get where your point. My heart goes out to you. It truly, truly does.
Cowboys had a good
But here's
win.
the reality of the situation. You call him a franchise player. But you're missing a key point here, Max. They're not really a franchise. Nobody cares about the Giants. They weren't going anywhere anyway. We know this. You weren't going to win anyway, Max. I'm sorry to rub it in. You weren't going to win anyway.
That's not true. Hopes were high.
Excuse me. Hopes were high?
Yeah, we didn't know what Danny Dimes was going to do.
Outside of first take, where were the hopes high for the New York Giants? Where? Where's the evidence?
New Yorkers
Where's the evidence?
at home.
Please.
Tweet at Stephen A. You had hope.
Please.
We had a young squad.
Molly.
Listen. Stop it. You know better. So that's number one. This is why Nick Bosa is such a tremendous loss. There were actually expectations. Why were there expectations? Because the San Francisco 49ers were in the Super Bowl, by the way, with a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter before they blew that. The bottom line is this. What was their defense? What was the success predicated on? It was on their defense. What was their defense predicated on? Their front four. They had Buckner. They had Nick Bosa and the crew. Armstead and these brothers, okay? Now, Buckner's going. You got rid of him. You had to let him go because for financial purposes. You kept Armstead, Jimmy Ward in your secondary. Your secondary, by the way, remember, they were elite in terms of limiting what opposing tight ends would do against them. That was a big deal. But primarily, their success was based on their front four getting to the passer, and that was led by that dude, Nick Bosa, a monster, a rookie. 9 sacks, 47 tackles overall, 16 for losses. That's Nick Bosa. That's who they just lost. So when you combine it with the fact that Buckner's already gone, now you've lost Bosa, okay? And then again, remember, Richard Sherman had to be out as well. You've got compromising taking place all over the place for the San Francisco 49ers defense. The last thing they could have afforded to lose was Nick Bosa.
But you're looking
by losing him, all I'm saying is the expectations were on the San Francisco 49ers. With Saquon Barkley, the Giants weren't going no damn place.
I don't want to hear that from you. You don't believe in Jimmy G anyway.
I don't.
Yeah, so
but
you
I believe
didn't
in that
expect
defense.
them to do anything.
Excuse me, I didn't believe in Jimmy G, but I still believed in them going to the Super Bowl last year because they had that defense.
This year, if you're arguing this year, even if Saquon meant a couple extra wins to them, it didn't really matter, although the NFC is so weak, the East is so weak, maybe it did. I agree with you. This year, you could argue Bosa is a bigger problem to lose than Saquon. But long term, Saquon Barkley is the centerpiece of the franchise. Saquon Barkley now gives Gettleman an out when he points to Daniel Jones' development this season if it's not good. Everything. The fact that the offensive line rework hasn't worked, all that. Not to mention the fact that Saquon has a contract talk coming up that throws that into chaos.
Hold up. We got all emotional. I was hijacking things. I apologize. Marcus, I want to hear from you. You're the NFL player.
I mean, I would think that we're talking about this season, right? Because I keep hearing Max talk about the future and down the road. It's Nick Bosa by a long shot. This conversation is predicated on the fact that these teams had plans. I'm with Stephen A. The Giants wasn't doing nothing. And Molly and Max, as much as y'all talking about this, y'all know that. Y'all understand where the Giants are. Yes, it's devastating, catastrophic to lose Saquon Barkley. His talent, what he brings to that team, how he helps Daniel Jones in whatever way, because it damn sure ain't helped up until this point. The thing is, when you look at not only the depletion of the San Francisco 49ers offensively, with Jimmy G being hurt, Kittle being hurt, Debo Samuel not playing yet, Brandon Ayuk up in question. There's a Morstead being with a knee and potentially not playing. We're not even talking about that. We're talking about the guy that was going to be the MVP most likely of the Super Bowl had it not been for Patrick Mahomes turning into Superman and making plays down the road. That's how good Nick Bosa has been. San Francisco was a team that was supposed to be in the hunt in the NFC to be vying for another Super Bowl run. And you guys say Saquon Barkley?
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.